All right, it's a new season for us, I guess, because we kind of have to take a bit of a break in the summertime. I know it makes no sense, but so I'm here with, I think, a commonly themed color in the vehicles we own. One would be rust and primer, and the second would be rust and primer. So, got this in here this morning, pull the front end off, see where we're at for actual what it needs, all this kind of stuff. It needs a cab mount on this side. The cab is shifted, or it's on an angle. I don't know if you can see it, about a half inch this way, or sorry, this way. It needs to just turn a little. It's probably because that cab mount's not hooked up, and we'll see. I don't even know if this one is on well. Not a huge deal though. We gotta start figuring out where we want to put our motor mounts and everything, and then get the engine in, build a cross member, find a drive shaft, a little bit of wiring, because you know, this is all, look at it's falling apart. So yeah, that's not usable again. This is all shot. The other thing is, this has been inhabited by cats for the last little while, so we don't have a working vacuum at the moment. I'm refusing to open the doors because I don't know what I'll contract from that. Thankfully, I'm not pregnant this time, so I won't have to worry about that, because apparently you're not supposed to be around cats when you're pregnant. I think we've got it at about where I'd like the ride height right now. Seems good. You walk up, look in. I don't know if you can see in. This door is stuck closed. I gotta figure out what's going on there. The other door isn't, thankfully, so there's no slamming windows out yet to get in. We've got our rollers, because otherwise we couldn't move it around. Or get it in here under the charger. Oh, and there's the hood. You can always run it hoodless and use this as a sled.
Let her rip, hang pen.
Could be fun, right? Vintage sled. Does that count? I think what I'm gonna do to drop it is I'm just gonna drop the rear end and pull out 3 of those leaves. Those bottom 3. Let's see how small. Medium small, small. And those ones aren't part of the coil pack or the packs anyway. They're all clamped down there. It should give me, what, 1.25 inch drop? I'm sure there's a million different drop kits and all that kind of stuff made for this, but I kind of want to just keep it the way it is and mess with it how I can with what I've got. We'll do the same in the front because it's identical. I have a feeling the shock tower was fixed at one point. I don't know, maybe you tell me. I don't know, there's a lot of welding on there. I'm back on ye old truck. I'm having a major ADHD moment this morning. I keep bouncing all over the place. There's a million things I want to do, and I can't seem to stick to one of them. So one of the things I want to do is, we're gonna pull a couple leaves out of here because we don't need 9, and it'll give us that little bit of a lower that we want. But I don't know, anyone who's taken these apart before knows this cotter pin system to hold the leaves on. It needs a lot of soaking and or a lot of heat. So right now, I got the back one out. I'm soaking the front one. While that happens, I'm also soaking the U-bolt nuts. Soaking my nuts so I can get off easier. This door has to come off. I did break a bolt, but the other 3 came loose. So I'll try to get that broken bolt out. And we've got to put some spacers underneath of that, because at some point in its life, it was over-opened. See this wrinkle? But it just blinds a little bit. We've got a lot of gap back here. Door on the other side is permanently locked. So I gotta take the door skin off. Look at this door skin. I mean, it is a shame that they're in great shape, but they are just, you know, cardboard. But hey, that's cardboard from 1953. That's held up a lot better than other things I know of from 1953. We'll redo these handles. Oh, I've got the handles on the other side too. I didn't know that. We've got one door handle here. I'll find another. It's not gonna be a ground scraper or anything. I want this thing to be drivable. So we'll just break it down that tiny bit, maybe 1 inch or 2. Hey, if anybody watches this, if we've posted it before I got to this part, anybody happen to know the corresponding discs that will fit this spindle. Someone said one from a Lincoln, but they didn't say what year. And we'll give it a spritz, then a spritz, then a spritz, then a spritz. Sometimes I just think having the camera on means you don't seem as crazy as you're talking to yourself, but we all know that's not the case. Find where that went. Found it. Oh. Gonna do me like that, eh? There is another. There we go. So I'm slowly taking the door off now because, you know, why not make more work for yourself? But I was nervous about pulling this off because it's super old and kind of wanted to preserve it. I don't like to break things if I don't have to. It turns out I've never done this before, so a lot of you out there will probably know this, but they're these interesting little just compression clips. So I got myself a container, paint lid, put them in there. I'm gonna soak them once they're out and maybe be able to reuse them. You can put this door panel back on if we're lucky. All right, so the door is off. My ability to take off doors, would that make me durable? Yes, it does. So, next plan of attack is we had some bolts break off in the bottom hinge. But, so, when I stuck my hand around back to see what was going on, I found out that this is full of mud. Who knows from when or where, so I'm actually gonna cut. See that rust wall? We're gonna cut up right there and down here, and just by that seam, go right down like that. And then we'll use that as a template to make a new piece to put in there. There's a little chunk in the bottom here that needs to be filled in as well. Look, I already accidentally cut a hole there. That was trying to get the fender off. Look at that. Structural. We'll fill that in by the time we're done here too. Progress update. I've progressed. Look at that. Perfect grill placement. We cut our little panel, so that area right there held that much junk. Gotta say, this is some very cold November rain. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. Plugging away. Had to take a small video break there. I was running a fan, couldn't hear anything. This can of very old can of carb cleaner decided to blow the top off of it. The whole thing emptied. I did get the opportunity to spray it all over in here though, and trying to get that panel off. Also want to get that panel off. Got the passenger side door open. Got the whole thing cleaned out inside. You can see she's not in a very bad shape. Gotta go down and measure this, because the funny thing about this truck is this side, passenger side here, has the cab mount, but not the piece for the floor. The other side, come with me, let's go around the back. Ooh. There's the Chevy. Come around this side has, well, the part in the floor that's kind of separated from the floor, but I can fix that, but no cab mount. So, I'm gonna measure up that cab mount, make it for this side, make a little piece for that, and put it on that side. I think I'd started earlier, cut this hole so we can get at the hinge bolts and everything, and we can see where we need to do some metal work, which isn't a ton. It's a little bit here and there. We'll make some panels. I'm not good at it, but hey, no one's gonna see it. I don't think this wiring harness is in good shape. Obviously, I'm not going to use it. I don't know if there's any purists out there that need a 53 to 56 four-door Mercury wiring harness, but if there are, give me a shout. You can have it. Ha! Works. Look at it. You can tell these things were never used, because that would be the original color of the truck. The pink is perfect. Just like that, the air conditioning's off.